All work and no play.
Well, a lot of playing, just a lot of work between playing, that's all.
Exactly.
All right, so the next one is, often when I lose a big pot, my brain taps out for the next few minutes and I struggle to maintain a good thought process. Any tips for how to snap back into focus quickly? So I'll start with this one. And this is kind of similar to what we talked about a little while ago, and that is, if you notice this happen, and it doesn't matter. Say you lose a big pot, you just know that that's your spark. That's what's going to get you to go into tilt mode, and when you go into tilt mode, you just start spewing, because when your brain taps and you lose that logical part of it, good luck. Here come the crap decisions. Here comes a tilt shove for no reason. Here comes a call pre-flop with 9-4 off because you need to get your damn money back. Bad things happen, right? Nothing good ever comes from this. So if you recognize that this is your big thing, the second you lose that pot, you get away from the table and you go walk and you go breathe, like you mentioned earlier, and then you get back to work when you're ready. It's as simple as that, because you understand what's creating the issue for you. So if this is two things. One, understanding, okay, this is what's currently happening. I lose a big pot, I tilt like hell, so we're going to veer around that. Instead of tilting and spewing, we're just going to tilt, go take a walk, come back neutral later. That's fine.
Absolutely.
Right. But then the second part of that is saying, okay, I'm also going to take the time and effort off the table to understand, why is this tilting me? What about this is doing that? And what about this can I retrain my brain to say, okay, this is normal? Again, did you lose the big pot because you played like crap? Or did you lose the big pot because you ran like crap? And be very, very honest. Because again, our brains are always going to try to protect us and say, oh, well, I obviously ran bad here. Not, okay, this card filled everything in the river and I still end up check calling and, oh, I ran into a flush again. Like, obviously you knew that was going to happen, right? So it's being aware of, again, are you making the right decisions or not? And then understanding, if it's because you're making bad decisions, that one, you need to study your poker stuff more, and two, you just need to understand, okay, you're going to make mistakes and not beat yourself up over it. Because going into tilt mode over making a mistake is completely illogical, because you're going to make mistakes. It's baked into the damn game. And that's just because, this is a game of incomplete information. You're almost never going to have complete info to make a perfect decision, and, what's the point of beating yourself up over it?
I can't remember who wrote this. It might have been Dan Harrington. It might have been David Skolansky. I can't remember. But they basically said poker, the way you win the game, it's like he who makes the least mistakes wins the game, right? So if you looked at that, baked into that is the idea that nobody is mistake free. I don't care if you're Phil Ivey, you're Fabian Quas, you're Daniel Negreanu. I don't care. You're going to make mistakes. It's minimizing those mistakes. So you want to make the least number possible. Right. So, yeah, I'm going to agree with you again. Go back to the study and the preparation. Definitely in this case, he needs to do, or she needs to do, the centering breaths. So remember, it's in through the nose for a count of 5, hold for 2, blow out through the mouth for a count of 8, and do that a few times. That just helps reset the brain. So I would say, like you said, they're in a great position because they know what sparks their tilt. Right. And they can actually get up, get off the table, do a few centering breaths, get themselves recomposed, and then come back.
Right. So I want to expand this just real quick because I don't think anyone asked this question later, so I just want to cover it. I've had some students say they lose a big pot or they lose any pot and then they feel embarrassed. The red cheeks and the embarrassment and the, shoulders go in a weird position type thing.
Right.
If they know that their response to losing a big pot or any pot is to go embarrassed mode, what would you suggest for that person?
Well, some of that is physiological, like the pink cheeks and stuff. Like some of us are just flushers.
Sure.
And I actually need to do a little bit more research on that because somebody did ask about that in the forums recently.
Yeah.
So I do want to, look into that a little bit more. So I'm not sure what you can do if you are a flusher, versus if you're not. But sure. I would say on the, like if you get the bad body language and stuff, I always go to what the great coach Nick Saban has to say about that. He tells his players, when you, slunk over and, you've got that downtrodden body language, you're basically telling your opponents, go ahead and beat me.
Right.
So why would you do that?
Sure.
I'm not going to give somebody an open invitation to beat me. So act as if you are as confident and cool and composed as possible. The reason I say act as if is because maybe on the inside you're not, but you don't have to show that to people. Now you might flush because you're just a flusher and there's, you can't do anything about that, but you don't have to, put your head down. You don't have to, shrug your shoulders. You don't have to make a face, nothing. I am going the Nick Saban route. I am not showing anybody that I am the weakling that they can pick off.
Sure. 100% agreed with that. Exactly. Good. Awesome. All right. Next. So this person says,